up, y'all? DC Fago guy. Welcome back to another What's Happening Now. We barely just dropped the last one like a week ago, I think. I am recording this on Sunday, August 3rd. So much shit has come out. So much shit has happened. I feel like in the next coming weeks, we're going to be doing a lot of What's Happening Now videos. Like I said, we've had some shit that has fucking come out, man. There's so much shit that's just dropping, including the Gathering timeline. I'm getting just a tad winky bit ahead of myself on that one. Before we dive into anything, though, we got to give a shout out to our members. Starting off with Wes, Seth Moon, aka Cali Green, Jose Jimenez, Juggalotus BD John, Durable Object, J-Word, Kabazucha Boom, Lorgasm, Charmakazi, Ivy Killer, Unique Freestyles, Do It For The Underground, and Impede23. Thank you guys for your support. If you would like to join the channel to help support it, there's a link in the description for you guys to do so. Thank you guys again. Let's jump into some of the releases that have come out and some of the releases that are coming out. Jumping off right back onto Low-Key's nuts. I've had somebody ask why I love Low-Key so much, because he's a very fucking talented artist, and his newest album that just dropped on Friday, August 1st, is a fucking prime example of it. This guy is so much more than just a horrorcore rapper. Y'all need to fucking check him out. The brand new album, AlkaRythym, which is Low-Key and his wife, Batty Bat, just dropped. You can head over to shadowlandshop.com right now. Do it right now. And go over there, because there are items there that I do not know if they're going to be limited or not. You got a brand new shirt. You got this, like, it's advertised as body armor, but it looks straight up like a onesie. That's like what's in my head, is this looks like a fucking onesie. And this really fucking sweet hoodie that you can get, as well as a face mask. The face masks are pretty fucking sweet, as well as you can grab both the standard version and the chaos version of the album. Right now, the standard version is available on streaming, but the chaos version is not. The one way to guarantee yourself to hear it now is to go over and order it, because I believe even for AlkaRythym, every CD that you order comes with an instant download of the album, so you do not have to wait for your physical copy. You can get the files right then and there and start bumping it. So head over to shadowlandshop.com, grab you some sweet fucking merch, grab you some CDs, and check out AlkaRythym. The album is fucking great. And again, to me, it's a staple, and it's a statement of why I say Low-Key is super fucking talented, because he doesn't just do horrorcore. He doesn't just rap. He makes really fucking great music, and I know that's not a lot of people's cup of tea. I think people prefer the horrorcore shit, right? But this album is a statement of his talent. So definitely go check it out if you guys have not heard it. If you are a fan of Low-Key, and you haven't heard it, I don't know what you're waiting on. If you've never heard of Low-Key, but you also are kind of on the horrorcore rap gimmick thing, like I said, this is not horrorcore rap. And I'm not even gonna like try to describe it to you. Just go give it a listen. It's a 5-track album. It clocks in at 19 minutes. It won't take up your whole day to go do it. Go give it a listen, and then come back and tell me what you guys think about AlkaRythym. I think it's absolutely fucking sweet. Now, jumping into this one actually just announced a couple days ago, and one of the first things I did is I went into Discord, and I even hit up the homie Roan, and I was like, is King ISO dipping his toes into horrorcore? We have pre-orders going up for Ghetto Psycho, the next album from King ISO. The name to the fucking meat cleaver looking hatchet, like knife that's there between his, between the title of the album, and the blood splatters that are not only on his face, but also in the little graphic here. This feels very much like King ISO is dipping his toes into horrorcore. And I know that that's such like a broad statement, because I think that anyone can really kind of do like a quote unquote horrorcore song or do a horrorcore album. But everything from the name to the imagery of this, it seems like he's going full on in doing that kind of a record. And it definitely has my interest. King ISO is an artist that, when he first signed to Strange Music, I did not know really anything about him. And in 2019, that's when I really started diving into Cess Crew, Mayday, Ritz, and all of the artists that were on Strange Music that, for whatever reason, I just slept on. I only really listened to Tech 9. So when King ISO came out, I was like, yo, I want to give this new artist a fair shake. So when he dropped World War Me, I immediately checked it out and was fucking blown away. Went and checked out all his other work. The same thing carried on then when Get Well Soon came out. That was an absolutely amazing concept album. Some of his recent releases, I think Ildren was the most recent one he's done. Ildren, for whatever reason, wasn't really connecting with me. I don't know if it just kind of felt more of the same. I don't know if it was the length of the album. I just, for whatever reason, could not get into that album at all. I've given it several listens. I make it maybe halfway through, and then I just kind of, I feel myself get bored and then move on from it. So I don't know if it's just kind of, I don't know if it's the length of that album that's not sitting with me, or if it's just the themes of the album. It seems, and I don't want to say something that's like disrespectful, but it really seems kind of the same, you know what I mean? Like, some of the subject matter seems very much the same. So I'm very curious where he will go with Ghetto Psycho, and if he will go more into that horrorcore realm. But that is dropping September 12th. Again, pre-orders are available right now. You can get a CD or you can get a 2-piece vinyl, which I think this might be the first vinyl for King ISO. I'm probably wrong on that, but this feels like the first vinyl that King ISO has had released. But I wanted to bring this up and point it out. I don't always really touch on strange music shit, but just from that title and that imagery, I'm like, yo, this feels like King ISO is going into some fucking horrorcore shit. So this definitely is a project that has my attention. And then another one that I actually missed on the last What's Happening Now. I don't know why I didn't bring it up. I think there was just so much other shit. Honestly, I think it was just the knot was such a focus for me that I totally fucking forgot it. But Twiztid is dropping a brand new graphic novel. It comes with an exclusive vinyl LP. You can get trading cards, you can get art prints. This completely kind of like, I don't want to say it flew under my radar, because it didn't, because when it was first like advertised, this was right after the whole Gmoski and Ala Zululu disc dropped. So a lot of people's focus was on that. They dropped this, and I actually had seen some people pointing out the irony of them having this comic called Mayhem Manor, and Gmoski, one of the charges he got was actually for Mayhem. It was a weird twist of fate and a weird coincidence for Twiztid to drop the project called Mayhem after all that came to light. I thought that actually got a really good chuckle out of me. But I did see this. It really didn't strike a lot of interest in me. I'm not a huge comic book collector. I mean, I've got all the Pendulum comics. I've read through them like maybe twice. One of them was on video to put on the channel, which you can go find a playlist to go peep that if you haven't. I grabbed the Curse of the Green Book. I think that's on, yeah, you guys can see that in frame here. I grabbed it just kind of for the like novelty piece of having an actual book that says Green Book on it. Literally have never even looked through it. So my interest in comic books is just really not there. I forget, there was somebody I had seen that had teased doing a comic book. I think it was Low Key talked about doing a comic book because it was something they were going to do years ago. And if 8 Legs was down to do it, he would probably do it. I'd be very curious what that comic would be about. And for real though, I'm just gonna put this out there. I'm sure he might be watching, but Shadowland based comics would be pretty fucking sweet. Like, to have a comic that like illustrates Shadowland, Book of Time, Blood of Izu, and Eyes of Parasuva would be pretty fucking sweet. Just gonna put that out there. That would be really fucking sweet. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. So if 8 Legs is up for that challenge, which you gotta take into the fact that he does art for Long Live Evil, and he is a recording artist, so to dedicate himself to doing and illustrating a full comic book, I don't know if that's something he would want to take on, but that would be a sweet fucking comic book to have out there. Let's reel it back into Twiztid though. With this graphic novel, I don't know anything really about it. Like I said, I don't really keep up on comic books like that. What I thought was interesting was the fact that this comes with an exclusive vinyl LP. And again, I don't fully have all of the info on what that entails. Is it them kind of providing theme music for the comic? Is it going to offer like not so much an audiobook, but is it going to kind of take you through the story of the Mayhem Manor. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I do find it very interesting that it is only going to be available in the vinyl format. I think that that's a missed opportunity to not drop it on CD. I mean, if they don't put it on streaming, which I don't think will ever be the case, I don't think it'll ever come out on streaming. To this day, I don't even think the Pendulum is available in that way. But to get this graphic novel and have an album that ties into it, or that is a concept album, like a Wizard of the Hood, Necronomicon type album, that is a concept album that really tells the story of Mayhem Manor. That to me would have been the way to go with this. And again, I don't know if that's what this is. Maybe I'm wrong and somebody could be schooling me in the comments right now. But if that's not what that is, then they really missed an opportunity to do something fucking dope. I think putting it out on vinyl was kind of limiting, I think. I think they should have definitely done it on CD because I think CDs still have a lot of life left in them. I know vinyl has made a resurgence, but I think CD would have been the way to go. Drop this graphic novel and have the album be like a concept album, and people can literally throw the album on, grab their graphic novel, and go through the story as the album plays. Like, that would have been the way to go with this. And again, I don't know if that's the case. That actually might be how it is, which would be pretty fucking sweet. But I think limiting it to just vinyl is kind of a miss, in my opinion. But hey, you know what? You throw it on your fucking turntable, you sit there in your little rocking chair like your grandma and your grandpa used to do when they would throw tunes on, and you just sit there, and instead of a magazine or a fucking newspaper, you could be sitting there with your graphic novel as the vinyl plays. But then you get to the part where you got to flip it over, and hopefully in the actual graphic novel, there's a part that says, by now you should have reached the end of side A. Please flip over now. And that'd be actually pretty fucking funny to have that be a panel in the goddamn graphic novel that you got to flip the bitch over. But this was released in a couple of different ways. You can get just trading card. I think it's just a singular trading card, but there is a Madrox trading card and a Monoxide trading card. It's limited edition, and it's $24.99 just, I'm assuming just for the card. The way that this is worded is Madrox trading card. So I think that that's all it is one card for $25 fucking dollars. Hard pass for me on that one. Or you can get the Mayhem Manor graphic novel standard edition. That's just the graphic novel for $24.99. Or you can get the Mayhem Manor graphic novel deluxe vinyl edition. So that's going to come with the graphic novel and the vinyl. Or you can get the Mayhem Manor signed graphic novel platinum edition. That comes with the two cards, the vinyl and the graphic novel, and it'll be signed by Twiztid. That one will set you back $149.99. I don't think I said the price of the deluxe vinyl edition, which is the graphic novel and the vinyl. That is $79.99. So let's see, $24.99 for just the graphic novel. That puts the vinyl, excuse me while I do some math here, right around $50. That sounds about right. You know, I think vinyl, kind of back in its heyday, you know, when ICP was doing the Waxworks, they were like $30 for a vinyl. So I mean, that's kind of in the right range to get a vinyl and a graphic novel. So, I mean, if you are a big comic book fan, this is definitely something sweet for you guys. If you're a vinyl collector, even sweeter, you get a 2-for-1 fucking sweet thing. I really do think that they kind of limited themselves, though, doing it in this format. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be pretty sweet again to throw on the vinyl, whip open your graphic novel, and read through as the album plays, assuming it ties directly into the graphic novel. Again, I don't know enough about it, and honestly, to completely sound like an asshole, I didn't care enough to do enough research on it. I just thought it was kind of cool that they are releasing this. It's like and I don't want to call them a ripoff, but I'm sure somebody will. It's kind of like them doing their own Pendulum. They've done a lot of I believe this is through Haunted Highons. I think that's something I had seen somewhere on there. So it's somebody that they've worked with quite a bit, which Haunted Highons is the ones that did Curse of the Green Book. So it's pretty, if you ask me, it is sweet that they're doing it, but definitely not something that totally interests me, but it had potential, I think. I think it had some potential. So jumping kind of off of the topic of the books and bringing it back to the recent discs, AlkaRythym are wasting no time to ride momentum of not only Gods of Evil Rise, but the attention that they have, the eyes that they have on them from them dissing Twiztid. With Billy Obey's solo project, Rhyme Book of the Recently Deceased, pre-orders are live now. It is 12 brand new tracks, and there's a slew of items that you can get this in. You can get a mask. There's two different masks. There's a Billy Goat and there's a Billy Ghost Forever face that you can pre-order. You can get just the CD. You can get a lyric book, which comes with the CD. You can get a little mini keychain, like a CD. It looks like the CD case, but it's a mini keychain. They have a black shirt. They have a tie-dye shirt. They have these sweet shorts, and they have this jersey. Obviously, Beetlejuice themed, which honestly, when they first teased this album, like when Billy Obey was first teasing Rhyme Book of the Recently Deceased, it didn't click for me until I think it was Robbie. Somebody pointed it out in the UPC Discord server, the handbook for the Recently Deceased from Beetlejuice. I'm like, oh, like the name, like it definitely sounded familiar, but I just did not make that connection until he pointed that out. And then immediately I look at this jersey and shorts. I'm like, oh, like Beetlejuice. That's pretty fucking cool. I'm not a huge Beetlejuice fan. Admittedly, I watched it for the first time a couple years ago. It was a good movie, but I wouldn't say that it's one of my favorite movies ever. It was just all right. I enjoyed it enough. I'm probably dropping a lot of jaws right now. Like, oh, how could you? But I was never a huge Beetlejuice fan, and like I said, I only watched it for the first time ever recently. So out of everything that they have available here, what has my attention the most is definitely that lyric book. Again, kind of for the novelty piece of having an actual book that is, you know, part of what it is. Sounded pretty fucking sweet, but I'm gonna kind of wait and see. I am under the assumption that this album will be available at Lights Out. I don't know if I previously said this, but Megs and I are for sure going to Lights Out, which AlkaRythym are performing there. So it is I'm kind of under the assumption that this album will be available at Lights Out. This drops, I didn't even mention this yet, this album drops on the 28th of August, so that's 2 days before Lights Out. I don't know if that means that pre-orders will ship before then and you'll get it before the 28th, or if it's just coming out on streaming on the 28th, but nonetheless, there's going to be a brand new Billy Obey project for Megs and I to be bumping while we're up there chilling in Michigan at Lights Out. So I'm pretty fucking excited for that. We actually booked this really cool cabin where we're going to stay at, so it's very fucking sweet. It's going to be a nice little getaway for us. But got a brand new Billy Obey dropping. Like I said, they are not wasting any time riding the momentum of everything. And it's assumed that there is a new album from them called No Masters, and I assume that would be the group project. There has been talks of every member of Zool having a solo album basically either close to done or done and ready to release. So they're just sitting there with their fucking cards ready, and they're ready to just, as that momentum even slightly drops, boom, here's another one. Momentum drops, boom, here's another one. And that's not including the label mates, Super Famous Funtime Guys, and SON. I don't think that SON is necessarily working on anything. He just had the Bastard Son drop back in March. But I know that Super Famous Funtime Guys have an EP. It's supposed to be a concept album. It's like a play on the Adventures of Bill and Ted. If I remember correctly, I might be getting that wrong because I'm paraphrasing and trying to pull from memory. But they have that in the works. I'm assuming that everybody is doing work on the new Long Live Evil group album, which is, it's not going to, from my understanding, it's not directly going to be like a follow-up to Lost Lake Estates in that way. It's going to be more like, think of it more like the Psychopathics from Outer Space compilation CDs, only it's more of a group album. It's like, it's Dark Lotus, but it's not. It's everybody on the label, but it's Dark Lotus. Like, it's the super group. It's the label as a super group, but it's doing an album that don't necessarily follow a story or lineage. I believe. I could be terribly wrong on that, and if I am, always correct me in the comment. But brand new Billy Obey dropping on the 28th of August. I'm really fucking excited for this. There is a song already out now with a music video which has the infamous little ninja getting slapped by the hand from Billy Obey. That was looped for the diss track that they dropped. The original footage was dropped. The original footage was shot for this video before they ever even did that diss, which I thought was hilarious. I watched the music video, and as soon as I seen the ninja pop up, I was like, uh-oh. And then I seen the clipboard with the fucking paperwork. I was like, oh, hilarious, right? And I see people upset about it, that they're dissing Twiztid again so soon. But again, this song has been ready. This video has been ready. They actually used the footage from this video for that diss track. And I took this more as a fuck labels kind of thing rather than fuck Twiztid. To me, it was like, it was M&E was being represented by the ninja, and it was like, you're held to this contract, and he's like, man, fuck you. That to me was more of a fuck record labels, fuck labels, it's long live evil, baby. That's the way it looked to me. That's the way I took it, but everyone interprets things very differently. But nonetheless, super fucking excited. Brand new Billy Obey dropping at the end of August. And another one that I missed in the previous What's Happening Now. Originally, I was like, I didn't really want to mention it because I was like, there wasn't a lot of information about this to really drop. But then I got to thinking about it. I was like, there really wasn't a lot of information to drop about Hollow Wicked either, but I dropped that. So I did want to just plug it real quick that Twiztid's Fright Fest has been officially announced. Tickets are on sale right now, going down the same day that it always does, just like Hollow Wicked. It's at St. Andrew's Hall. It's on Devil's Night, the 30th of October. So tickets are on sale, and based purely on this image for it, that's Jamie and that's Jamie and Magi. That's Jamie and that's Monoxide in their Freak Show era gimmick of Batman and Robin. So I think it's safe to assume, because they're like literally, I think they just started the tour for the Freak Show anniversary tour, like I think today or yesterday. So I think it's safe to assume you could expect Fright Fest to most likely be a Freak Show show. That's my assumption is Fright Fest will be a Freak Show show. So if you're not hitting any of the Freak Show tours, or like you live on the East, you live on the East Coast, and I think the closest they're coming is, I think it's right outside Chicago. Yeah, you can fucking head to Detroit for Hollow Wicked and hit up Fright Fest and enjoy a Freak Show show. Again, my assumption, that's not confirmed. I'm just kind of taking the context of this flyer though, and I'm like, okay, so they're gonna do Freak Show at Fright Fest. That's my assumption. And then we did talk about this a little bit, I think in the last, it might have been the last What's Happening Now, it might have been the one before that, but Shaggy had teased another tour that they are going on, or another leg of a tour that they're going on, and we got dates, baby. Insane Clown Posse on tour, the Not Farewell Tour, or the Not Tour at this point. This time they are hitting up Iowa, Oklahoma, Texas. They've got what, 4 dates? 4 fucking dates in Texas. Jesus, that is a big state, so I can't be mad at that. They're hitting Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Kentucky being the closest that they are coming to me. That is going down September 19th. That is probably the most likely. Never mind, no it's not, because I just realized that's Louder Than Life. They just literally put Louder Than Life on there. So I am not paying the prices for Louder Than Life to go see ICP. If it was ICP going on tour and they were hitting an actual venue, I would make the journey down to Louisville to go see ICP. But unfortunately, they are not hitting Indiana. So I am not hitting an ICP show on this tour. So that kind of sucks. But, you know, there's still the possibility of going to Hollow Wicked this year. It's just not likely. But moving it on to the main title of the video, it's The Gathering of Juggalos. The full lineup is here. They have first originally posted this graphic right here, which had all of the names in that kind of concert style promo. And then of course, everyone started going over to the website and they had seen that the timeline was up. I haven't really fully dove in and looked at the timeline to see when everyone was performing. I mainly kind of looked at the main stages just to see like who was gonna headline each night. Because going into it, I was curious if they were gonna have Tech 9 close out a night or if they were gonna let Ouija Mac. And sure enough, Ouija Mac is closing out Friday night with Tech 9 performing before him. And I I am going to admit I was one of those people that was like, how are they going to have Ouija Mac follow up Tech 9? I was that guy, all right? And I quickly got schooled on the fact that back in the day when Ice Cube performed at the Gathering, ABK closed out the night after him. I didn't know that. I didn't pay enough attention to that. You know, I wasn't going to the Gathering back then. I didn't have the resources or the means to go. So that is something I didn't know about previous gatherings. And the case that I had brought forth to me was like, hey, you know, if Ouija Mac's part of the label, if ABK is part of the label, like the artists that are signed to Psychopathic Records are going to get top billing, even over some bigger names in the fucking like music scene, right? So I had that brought to my attention, and I'm like, you know, I respect it, I dig it, even though I it was my understanding that Psychopathic Records really wasn't a thing anymore, but I also still get it that he was the last signed artist to Psychopathic Records. So I ain't mad at Ouija Mac closing out the night. Actually, the joke that I made is you can finish up seeing Tech 9 and then go find you a good spot for the, you know, late night shows. You know, sipping my haterade, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it. I'm not a big fan of Ouija Mac. It's not my style of music. It's not my cup of tea. I know it is a lot of people's cup of tea. So if you are offended by me saying that, well, sorry and shit. But that's just how that was just kind of my glass half full to the people that were like, man, how is Tech 9 gonna go on before Ouija? You know? Look at it this way. You can go see Tech 9 now, and if you're not a fan of Ouija, you can now head to a sideshow and get a good spot while Ouija Mac is performing. Or, you know, go use the bathroom, go do what you gotta do. You know? But definitely sipping the haterade. I'm gonna own it. Straight up, I'll own it. I was being a fucking hater. So, yeah, lineup is out. For those going to the Gathering, you could start scoping, start highlighting, start circling. You could do what me and Megs did. We actually would print off a copy. We would print it off, and that way we could, I think, even, Megs even laminated ours. We actually got teased a little bit at the Gathering about that one. Man, y'all got a laminated one? Actually, I think handy right here, I've even got the laminated copy of the first Dark Carnival Games convention that we went to. Like, this is an example of what we did. And even on the other side, she would print the map out, and we would have all of our info, where we were staying. Yeah, that was the Super 8 that we stayed at for the Dark Carnival Games. But this is how we would prep. And then, you know, sometimes you could use a dry erase marker on here to like highlight the ones that you wanted to go see. But yeah, cool little thing that we always did. So if you didn't have that idea, there you go, you're welcome. So timeline is out. Gathering of the Juggalos, all the artists have been announced. I'm curious though, I've been seeing people talk about some of these shows for the Thuggish Ruggish Mafia tour are getting canceled, and they're wondering if that's going to affect the Gathering in any way, shape, or form. Don't know, but that could change things. So, yeah. I think that's going to do it for this. Before we head out, let's dive in, check out, grab out of the collection plate.
Pass the collection plate. Show me how you give. Pass the collection plate.
So rather than keep repeating myself about the collection plate, if you don't know about the collection plate, you should probably go watch an older episode of What's Happening Now. I talk about the collection plate, but guaranteed people to have me read their comments are going to be members. And we've got Kaba Zuchaboom who says, for the collection plate, do you see a flow of EPs like how we got from Yum Yum Bedlam? My thought is we get the person entering the knot, and one EP describes what it would be like if you went to heaven, and another EP that shows what hell is like if they believed, if that makes any sense. I don't honestly see it going down that way because we have Shangri-La and we have Hell's Pit. I personally think that the knot is just exactly that. It's what happens when someone doesn't believe. They just simply get swallowed by the knot and they cease to exist. So no, I don't think that there will be any little EPs. I mean, I could be wrong. They could do little EPs, but I feel like the knot is going to be just that. It's like the end. This is what happens if you do not believe in heaven or hell. Nothing happens. Now we have Unique Freestyles who says, do you think the knot will contain any backwards messages within it? I think it's likely and it's very possible, but maybe not, because I feel like most of this is going to be kind of straightforward. I don't think that they did any backward messages at all in Shangri-La. I know they had them in Hell's Pit, but I think that was more meant to be like demonic sounding than an actual like hidden message. You know, I think at the end of right before the witch starts, you get like the and like they're talking about the witch, but it's backwards. I think that was meant to just sound demonic for the sake of the album. But no, I don't necessarily think the Knot will, but I mean, it could. It's very likely. It's been a while since they've done some. So we also have Lorgasm665, which says, I think the Knot is going to be one of their best albums. I think it has a very good potential to be. It's got great producers behind it. I think if they remember to take the producer tags off, that they have a potential to really have a lot more people come around to Shaggy the Airhead and Devereaux's production. I mean, Kuma kills it, Mike P kills it, Mikey Clark obviously kills it, and in my opinion, I think Shaggy the Airhead and Devereaux are really good producers as well. It's just those producer tags really didn't sit well with a lot of people. So I do think that the Knot has a very high potential to be one of their best albums. So moving on from that, we also have Juggalo J Word, who says, bro, if we didn't want to hear you ramble, we wouldn't watch. We value your 2 cents. Don't ever feel self-conscious. And I appreciate that little statement right there, because sometimes I do get in my head. So having reassurance like that is very thoughtful, and I appreciate that. So moving on from that, going into the standard collection plate, you can leave a thought-invoking comment down below, and if it's enough to inspire me to bring it to the plate, then I will definitely do so. But you can leave a super comment, a super thanks to guarantee yourself a spot. But we've got Crusader Gamer 4995, who says, I think the Knot should finish off the second deck of Joker's card. I know they were talking about doing 1/3 deck, but can I be honest with you? Do we really need 1/3 deck at this point? ICB have done everything at this point. What's there for them to do? And this comment kind of messed with me just a little bit, because the Knot is finishing off the second deck. Their plan is to go do a third deck. But I get what Crusader Gamer was saying. He thinks the Knot should finish off the Joker cards, I think is how he meant it. And I've actually said this in previous videos, that I feel like there really isn't I really don't think that they should do a third set, but I mean, that's completely up to them. Obviously, that's the direction that we're going. I think even with Violent J talking to Humble Among and saying that, you know, that he's still referencing 665, he still references the third set of Joker cards. So I think that's the goal going forward. I think what they could do, because they're gonna, with the age that they're getting at, like, they've got to really channel their early selves from the 90s. They were churning. I mean, they finished the first 6 Joker cards in a 10-year span. The second set of Joker cards, it's what? Next year will be 17 years since Bang Pow Boom came out. That's a long time. That's nearly twice as long as it took to get the first 6 out. I know things are a little bit different now. They've got families, they've got other things going on. But I think from a musical standpoint, like, if they're going to do another set, I feel like maybe they don't necessarily need to be as big of albums, if that makes sense. Maybe they don't need to be a full-length album. Maybe they can be more EPs, or if they are a full-length, they don't necessarily need to be an hour's worth. You know, they both are living their own separate lives, and kind of, I feel like seeing that kind of documented through the Shaggy show, with Shaggy talking about it a lot, like, oh yeah, today we recorded some more. Oh yeah, today I was going to write, but my kids kind of distracted me. You know, having that kind of documentation of this process with the Knot, I feel like there's a potential for them to go in and not do quite as extravagant as albums for the third set of Joker cards. Because kind of going into this, like, I've seen a couple articles pop up now for the Knot where it's like, this is going to end off the Joker card saga. It's like, well, no, it's not, because they're planning to do a third. To me, knowing that there's a third set coming out has really taken away from me the significance of the sixth. Like, when the Wraith dropped, like, that was it. This is the sixth. This is the last Joker's card. Boom. That's it. But going into the Knot, we know that there's more coming after. So, like, as excited and as hype as I am for the album, I know that there's still more to come after. So it's not got the same level that the Wraith had, because, like, we know what's coming next. Back then, we didn't know. It was just like, oh shit, what's after the sixth? What do they do after the sixth? Where do we go from here? You know? So I feel like with the Knot that we don't really have that, because we know that they're doing a third set. But yeah, I'm kind of in the headspace, like, I don't necessarily want them to do a third set, but I know that they're going to, and I understand and respect and acknowledge the symbolism of 665 is 17, you know, and then, you know, with the first set you die, the second set you die, and then the third set you die for real. So I get it and I understand the significance. I just think if they're going to really do it at the age that they are, maybe not as big, maybe not as extravagant. You know, I think there are some really good potential concepts out there for Joker cards to fill the third set, and they can easily, I feel like, accomplish that in the next 10 years, and then, you know, just retire and do their big shows or do tours every so often. I don't know what their game plan is. That's not something that I'm privy to, but I mean, if I was in their shoes, that's the direction I would go. Maybe not as big of an album. So, yeah. Moving on from that, we have Caden Hipper, music movie critic. And I already addressed this one pretty much at the beginning of the fucking video. Why do you love Low-Key so much? Just curious. I already talked about it, man. I just think Low-Key is a very talented artist. Go listen to AlkaRythym and you'll see for yourself. He's not just a rapper. He doesn't just do horrorcore. He is fucking talented. And when the Chaos version of that album drops, those remixes were done by Low-Key, which further exemplifies his talent. So that's why I love Low-Key so much, because I was just so fucking blown away by him. I'm like, whoa, this dude is fucking talented. So yeah, I'm just gonna constantly be swinging from his nuts any opportunity. Moving on from that, we have Onion Savoya. I hope I'm saying that right. I worried that ICP is so entertaining that the message of the message of the Joker cards are going over Juggalos' heads, and I feel like that a lot as well. There are a lot of people in the Juggalo community. There are a lot of people on Juggalo that are on YouTube making content for Juggalos, that when they make certain videos about certain topics, I question, I'm like, why focus your time and energy on that? Like a big, for instance, anyone that's like fuck Twiztid and they want to make a slew of videos, or, you know, Long Live Evil when they went on their tour and they had to cancel shows and people made videos about that, or I'm just going to call it out. Humble Among made his videos about that. I question people focusing their time and energy on something like that, especially if it's something they don't like. Like time. The big theme of this fucking set of Joker cards is time. You only have so much of it here on Earth. Make the most of it. And there's people out there that are just focusing their time and their energy on things that's like, you've only got so much of this, and that's what you're choosing to spend it on. It's interesting. So yes, I firmly believe that there are a lot of people that listen to ICP, but they don't hear ICP. They're not hearing the messages there. And that's fine. If ICP is more just entertaining for them musically, I mean, it is what it is. But I am somebody, when I listen, I'm listening to the music, and then I'm like diving into the philosophy that's behind it. So I am with you, Onion, on that. And then ending it off with Black Malenko, he says, do you think Darby O'Trill has been a failure as a project from Chapter 17? Hex was way more successful in every metric. And I strongly disagree with that. I really enjoyed Hex. I thought Hex was really dope. It was way more my cup of tea. And when he was dropping albums on Chapter 17, I think he only did Demon Season. I think. Because I'm pretty sure Tales of a Cursed G was his own. I think he did that on his own, and that was when the big revelation was, oh, he's not on Chapter 17 anymore. I enjoy Hex. I do enjoy Hex. I don't think a lot of people that are fans of Chapter 17 necessarily did. I think he got love because he was part of Chapter 17, but once he was off the label, there are some people I don't see giving the same amount of love that they used to, which that is unfortunately a side effect of being on a label, is sometimes those fans are only fans of yours because of who you're rocking with, or because of what stamp you have on your shit. That's very unfortunate. I think Hex is very dope. But I don't think that Hex is more successful because I see, and again, it could be a symptom of the fact that he's signed with Chapter 17 now. I seen Darby O'Trill getting love before he was ever signed to Chapter 17. Darby O'Trill, he popped up on my radar because of 5-Piece over on Fagel Lovers, Goons Clout Gallery, Joker's Gallery, Speak Clout Podcast, aka Mike Sears, and Luke the Goon. They ran a show over there where they would give like their top 5 and they would have different ones for different episodes. And my introduction to Darby O'Trill was from him being on the Hell's Pit episode, where they gave their top 5 songs from Hell's Pit. Throughout several of their episodes, they would hype Darby O'Trill up. At the time, he was signed to LSP. And I remember when his album Goalie dropped. So that, I believe that was before he was on the Hell's Pit episode. They were talking about Goalie. And I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I'm going to go check him out. And then I was like, yo, it's not my cup of tea, but I respect what he's doing. It was kind of the same way with Cody Manson. I believe his E equals MC Helter Skelter. I don't remember the name of that project, but there was a project that Cody Manson also dropped that they were hyping up, and it was kind of the same thing. I was like, it's not really my cup of tea, but respect to them for doing their thing. That's kind of how it's been every time Darby O'Trill drops an album. It was the same way with Tomb. I checked out Tomb. It's just not my cup of tea. Every album that Darby O'Trill has dropped, I've checked out because I'm waiting to be won over, but it's just not my cup of tea. The type of music he's doing, the sound, the production, it's just not my cup of tea. Do I think he's a big failure? Absolutely not. I think he's absolutely fucking killing it. And while he's not my cup of tea, I fucking respect what he's doing. And I think it's dope that he's fucking killing it the way that he's killing it. And again, I'm going to keep checking out his shit because I'm waiting for that right moment to hit where I'm like, fuck with this. You know what I mean? I know he's got a lot of influence from Korn. So I'm waiting for him to drop a straight up, like I'm waiting for him to kind of pull a Twiztid and do a rock album. I think that would be pretty fucking sweet. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'd like to see him link up with Mike P and get more. And I know Devereaux does pretty good job with his production, and he does a lot of guitar riffs in there. But I think if Darby O'Trill linked up with Mike P or a producer who has been pretty successful, and again, that's no disrespect to Devereaux. I think he's an excellent producer. But if he linked up with somebody like Mike P who has done a lot of those kind of tracks with ICP in the past, or with Zug Island in the past, and Darby O'Trill put out a rock fucking album where he's like still doing some rap shit, maybe a little bit of singing, I think that would be one that would fucking impress me. That's kind of what I'm waiting for, is for him to really kind of go outside of the box more, because some of the production, some of the beats, and I'm just gonna say it's some of the hi-hat, when I hear that throughout multiple songs, it's like, let's get rid of the hi-hats. Let's do something different with the beats. And there are a handful of songs that I've heard from him that don't have that. But yeah, I think Darby O'Trill is not a failure at all. I think Darby O'Trill is absolutely fucking killing it. He's not my cup of tea, but I think he's fucking dope, and I think he's killing it, and I think it's awesome that he's killing it. So I think that is going to wrap it up for this edition of What's Happening Now. Tell me down below what you guys think about What's Happening Now, and I will see you guys next time.